Welcome, dear viewers, to The Sacred Calling. This is a program that gives us a glimpse into the life of a Catholic priest and religious sister in the Catholic Church by listening to their unique stories. We know every person has a story, so the aim of this program is to understand the role of the Sacred Court in the Church and their mission to save others. My name is Macy, and with me in the studio, I'm joined by Father Max. Father, welcome to the program.
Thanks very much, Madam Mercy.
We are so excited to have you here.
I'm humbled to be here.
So, Father, tell us, who is Father Max?
Yes, Father Max Shumumba is a priest belonging to Monze Diocese. Originally, I'm from Lusaka Archdiocese. I was born from within Lusaka Archdiocese, did my catechism under Kasisi Parish in the outstation called St. Andrew's Kagwa. I did all my education within Chongwe district. So it was after my education that I found myself in the southern province after training as a police officer, because at the beginning I had no idea of becoming a priest, but God himself knew me and followed me right there in southern province. And this is why after I realized my call, I remained there, resigned, and joined under Monze Diocese instead of Lusaka Archdiocese.
Interesting. So,
Yes.
Father, what made you descend to the calling of God?
Yes, God himself knows us. As the scriptures tell us to say, I knew you before you were born. So God knew already of my vocation. It was me who didn't know about this calling. And so through my love for the church, my love for a quiet time, just to be quiet in the church, meditation, adoration, and then I came to realize that no, God is calling me to this life. And as time went on, I started saying, let me follow this calling that I feel God is calling me to become a priest. So it was through quiet, silent moments and adoration that I came to realize that God really is speaking within me, that I responded to this call.
Interesting.
Yes.
So, Father, when were you ordained, and where have you worked? Where are you working, like, as in of date?
Okay. I was ordained in 2015 at Assumption Parish in Mazabuka. From there, I was posted at the very parish, Assumption Parish, as an assistant parish priest. From there, then I was sent to Losito Parish, where I served from 2017 to 2021. After that, I had very much desire of having a monastic experience. I wanted to know, I wanted to have a feel, I wanted to have that spirituality of the monks. So from there, from Losito, I asked the bishop to say, I'd like to have an experience of a monastic life. Okay. And so he gave me a go ahead, and that's how I went to Katibunga, where I experienced a monastic life there for a year. From 2021 August to 2022 22 August. Then when I came back, I just stayed for 2 months at St. Mary's Parish, that is in Choma. From there, the bishop sent me to Mamba Holy Cross, be a priest in charge of a community that was I-marked to become a parish. So recently, I would say a month ago, that same community was raised now to a quasi-parish. In other words, a sub-parish. And the bishop himself appointed me to be a priest in charge of St. Paul's sub-parish, Sinazeze. And this is where I am serving at the moment.
Okay. From what you have said, I heard you talking about you living in a monastery. Like, where exactly is the monastery that you spent a year in?
Okay, this monastery is in Mpika Archdiocese.
Okay.
Yes, it's in Mpika Archdiocese. That's where I spent that year at. Yes.
Interesting. Father, I'm informed that you love music and football.
Yes.
Kindly share with us, why is it so? Is it because you were a police officer before you became a priest, that's the reason you like soccer? Or maybe during training you used to sing a lot?
All those gifts, I had them even before I went to train as a police officer. Yes, being a footballer, being a sportsman, I think is something which is genetically inborn in me. I was born with it. So even as I was growing, it was in me. Even at a primary level, I was the youngest midfielder, and the head teacher that time, that was in 1993, gave me a certificate of being a youngest midfielder. And from there, when I went to do my secondary education, yes, I was also appointed or given a position of a sports captain. I was a very small boy, and that was very humbling to me to say, why, of all these big boys, the administration have tried to choose me. Who am I? So I've been playing football, in fact, from deep down my heart. Even after leaving my secondary education, it was a debate to say, where should I concentrate on? What should I become? Should I spend all my energies and time on football? Should I become an international footballer or what? It was a debate, and I said, no, let me do something else. Football will be part-time. So I love football, I love sports because it keeps me fit. Yes, it keeps me fit and healthy. I love singing because that's one way through which I praise my God. I feel the presence of God within me. So where singing is concerned, also it's something that is genetically inborn. It's something that is in my family. We have a lot of people who are gifted within my family. If we are to bring them together, we can form a very strong choir. So even before I went to secondary, I was a choir master at our choir there at St. Andrew's Kagwa in China. Even again, when I went to secondary, I continued being a choir master. Not only that, when we went to Lilai, when we were training as police officers, it was during our intake that the recruits had their own choir. So from history, they told us to say it has never happened here where recruits can form a choir. So during my time, we formed a choir, and again, I was a choir master. And they used to call me choir master wherever I go, choir master, just like that. So in short, singing is genetically inborn in me. It's one way where I praise God. I feel the presence of God in me. I also spread the good news, not only through talking, through verbal messages, but also through singing. I preach also through singing.
Okay. So Father, do you sing like in church, like maybe on your own when like you're praying, or maybe do you record your songs?
Yeah, thank you very much, Madam Mercy. So far, indeed, I've recorded one album just for me, and the second album I recorded it using the Holy Childhood of St. Kizito's Parish in Lusitu. So I've recorded 2 albums so far, and at the moment I sing, as I've mentioned, just to praise God, depending on the mood that I am. Sometimes when I'm happy, I praise my God. Also when I'm sad, I also cry to God through singing. As I mentioned earlier on already, even when I'm preaching, some messages I deliver to people through a certain hymn or song.
Oh, yes. Interesting. Father, I hear priesthood vocation life has a lot of challenges.
Yes.
What has been the toughest and hardest challenges in your vocation?
Yes, toughest challenge in my vocation, you know, as a diocesan priest, I was trained, or we are trained to serve people from our local areas, where you were born, the people you mingled with when you were young. You serve the people in the language that you did catechism. Yes. Now, as for me, as I mentioned, I was brought up within Lusaka Archdiocese. I did my catechism in Chichewa. But now, as I've said, I responded my vocation whereas in Monze Diocese, Southern Province. So the challenge to me has been to learn a new language, to preach to people of a new culture, not that culture that I knew when I was still a young boy. Yes. So that has been a greatest challenge, to speak in a language that I've learned as a grown-up person. So that has really indeed been my challenge. And like missionaries, sometimes as they go through their trainings, they are taught on how to be flexible and mingle with anyone else, because they can be sent anywhere. Now for us, it's save your local people. You become a missionary to your own people. So now I'm a missionary to peoples of different background, different culture, and different language. So this has been a greatest challenge for me.
Indeed, Father, you are a missionary. You are a diocesan missionary. Since yes. you grew up in Lusaka and became a priest from among the diocese of Monze. Yes. That's also, there's some missionary happening there.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Father, as you wake up each day, there have been moments of joy and fulfillment in your vocation. Kindly yes. share with us like those classic moments that you would share. Hey, okay, these are classic.
Okay. Yes, indeed. As I wake up every moment, being a priest does not mean that I am an angel. Sometimes I've failed. Sometimes my humanness has surpassed the divine life in me. So sometimes I feel, this time maybe I just give up of being a priest. But through God's mercy, as I wake up every morning, as I wake up in some moments, I see God's grace at work in me. And so in those moments that I feel I would want to give up, but the voice of God just comes and say, no, continue going on. Despite your failures, despite your weaknesses, you are still my servant. So those moments make me very happy to say, God is still journeys with me. Even with all these my failures, God is still journeys with me. So those moments that I realize that God is real with me, God is really journeying with me, those have been beautiful, exciting moments in my life.
Interesting. As you are explaining, I can see the joy that you're expressing.
Sure.
Father, have you ever regretted leaving everything behind to follow Christ?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question, Madam Mercy. As I mentioned earlier on, being human, there are moments when you are low. So during those moments when I'm low, indeed I felt to say, it was really God calling me. There were moments when I experienced dark moments in my priesthood. So during those dark moments in my priesthood, I would say, I would feel, did really God call me? Maybe if I still wanted, if God wanted, I was still going to be what I was doing. But those moments are just a few moments. They don't take long. Afterwards, then the door opens again. So most of my moments are really joyful moments and happy moments. Yes, in spirituality, we call those moments as desolation. So during moments of desolation, I would feel to say, let me just go back to do what I was doing. But when consolation comes again, consolation surpasses desolation. It's like the Israelites, even as they were journeying towards the promised land, there were moments when they said, take us back, Moses, to Egypt, where we were eating meat and watermelon. So in each and every Christian's journey, there will be moments when you regret, when you feel to say, if I was there. But as I've mentioned, those moments are just moments of desolation, of which they do not last forever. They come and then they pass. Then you experience consolation.
Interesting. So
Yes.
given a chance, you would still be a priest.
Exactly. Given a chance, I would still continue being a priest. And the chance is already given. I still enjoy being a priest. I'm very happy from deep down my heart.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Allah, thank you so much for sharing your stories, your vocation story with us, and for finding time in your busy schedule to feature on this program. We are very grateful.
I'm humbled, madam. I'm humbled. I'm grateful to you all and all the organizers. I'm humbled to be allowed to feature into this program. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Well, our dear viewers, I guess the story of Father Maxwell has touched you to respond positively into the vocation of God. This is all we had for you on today's episode. From me and Father Maxwell and the entire Lumen TV crew, it's bye-bye.